Harper Audio presents The Four Loves by C.S. Lewis, read by Peter Noble. That our affections kill us not, nor die. Done. Chapter 1. Introduction. God is love, says St. John. When I first tried to write this book, I thought that his maxim would provide me with a very plain highroad through the whole subject. I thought I should be able to say that human loves deserved to be called loves at all, just insofar as they resembled that love which is God. The first distinction I made was therefore between what I called gift love and need love. The typical example of gift love would be that love which moves a man to work and plan, and save for the future well-being of his family, which he will die without sharing or seeing. Of the second, that which sends a lonely or frightened child to its mother's arms. There was no doubt which was more like love himself. Divine love is gift love. The Father gives all he is and has to the Son. The Son gives himself back to the Father and gives himself to the world, and for the world to the Father, and thus gives the world in himself back to the Father too. And what, on the other hand, can be less like anything we believe of God's life than need love? He lacks nothing, but our need love, as Plato saw, is the son of poverty. It is the accurate reflection in consciousness of our actual nature. We are born helpless. As soon as we are fully conscious, we discover loneliness. We need others physically, emotionally, intellectually. We need them if we are to know anything, even ourselves. I was looking forward to writing some fairly easy panegyrics on the first sort of love and disparagements of the second, and much of what I was going to say still seems to me to be true. I still think that if all we mean by our love is a craving to be loved, we're in a very deplorable state, but I would not now say, with my master, MacDonald, that if we mean only this craving, we are mistaking for love something that is not love at all. I cannot now deny the name love to need love. Every time I've tried to think the thing out along those lines, I've ended in puzzles and contradictions. The reality is more complicated than I supposed. First of all, we do violence to most languages, including our own, if we do not call need love love. Of course, language is not an infallible guide, but it contains, with all its defects, a good deal of stored insight and experience. If you begin by flouting it, it has a way of avenging itself later on. We'd better not follow Humpty Dumpty in making words mean whatever we please. Secondly, we must be cautious about calling need love mere selfishness. Mere is always a dangerous word. No doubt, need love, like all our impulses, can be selfishly indulged. A tyrannous and gluttonous demand for affection can be a horrible thing. But in ordinary life, no one calls a child selfish because it turns for comfort to its mother, nor an adult who turns to his fellow for company. Those, whether children or adults, who do so least are not usually the most selfless. Where need love is felt, there may be reasons for denying or totally mortifying it, but not to feel it is in general the mark of the cold egoist. Since we do in reality need one another, it is not good for man to be alone, then the failure of this need to appear as need love in consciousness, in other words, the illusory feeling that it is good for us to be alone, is a bad spiritual symptom, just as lack of appetite is a bad medical symptom because men do really need food. But thirdly, we come to something far more important. Every Christian would agree that a man's spiritual health is exactly proportional to his love for God. But man's love for God, from the very nature of the case, must always be, very largely and must often be entirely, a need love. This is obvious when we implore forgiveness for our sins.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?